Okay, so I'm actually going to need a beer for this one because this video is a sad one. This is about the dark side of entrepreneurship. And this is a tribute to a friend of mine, Danilo, who was a mentor and one of my first clients, a teacher to me, and he helped expose me to the world of internet marketing, and he recently took his own life. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Danilo and my journey with him, as well as and how much of a wonderful man he was. And I'll also be talking a little bit about signs of depression and how to, what depression is and how to know if this is something that is having a serious effect on your life. So let's get into the video. Here's a cheers to Danilo, and I'm going to tell you his story in this video. This is not for everyone, but it will expose you to something very different, and I just hope you can learn from it. So I first met Danilo back in around 2011 or 2010 or 11, and this is when I was just getting started in internet marketing. I was in LA and I was going to a lot of these different seminars and what have you about SEO and making money and online and real estate seminars and stock investing. I went to seminars for anything I could. Most of them were free and they gave you coffee and donuts. They're just people pitching you all the time. I would always go there to learn, right? I just wanted to see what I could learn. It was free and I got coffee and donuts, right? And through one of these, I met Danilo. I remember I was in an SEO seminar, and Danilo, he's this really larger than life personality, lights up every room. He's got a lot of energy, big Korean guy. And he wasn't presenting, but he was asking the most cocky, but very intelligent questions. He would ask the guys this is basic stuff. He's like, why don't you do this? Or you could make more money if you do this. Why don't you just do that? You could put the button there. Why didn't you use this text? And he was stumping the presenters, right? Because the people on the stages, not all of them, right? But some of these stage guys, they aren't the experts themselves, right? They're just kind of selling stuff. So I said, I need to talk to Danilo. He's one of the smart guys. He's asking questions that stump him. And I was, I was 22 years old at the time. So I went over and, I talked to him. I said, oh, I'd love your contact information and ask you a question. And he was nice. And he spent some time with me. And he was running a legal agency. He was an affiliate marketer, and he was running a performance marketing company. That's the politically correct term for affiliate marketing. You're a performance marketer. And he was running a performance marketing agency for lawyers. Those were his clients. And he had a number of employees working for him. And he had offices in Santa Monica. He was kind of a big deal. And I remember I met up with him and I just asked him for advice. I said, hey, could I meet up? I want to see if there's any ways I can add value to your company or help you out. And I also just love your advice on stuff. And we met up, and that was one of his special characteristics, is he took chances on people. He was very good at identifying ambition and identifying talent, and he was just a very generous guy. And the fact that he spent time with me, who was a nobody at the time, was very meaningful. I think the next year, in 2012, I started doing freelance. I was freelancing and managing pay-per-click accounts, and I asked him, I said, hey, are there any clients you'd like to have me manage their PPC for? And he said, and he took a chance on me. He was one of my first clients. He was one of the very first people that paid me, not a job paying me. He paid me just to manage one of his lawyers who wanted to do pay-per-click advertising, because Danilo was doing the search engine optimization, organic stuff. And, he was only paying me $500 or something like that, but I increased the account. And I remember I increased the account spend, and he paid me more. And he was very good about that. And I learned a lot from him. And he started, because I was kind of, I was helping him out, I was helping him grow his clients, I was helping him make more money. He started inviting me to some of his holiday get-togethers at his office and other stuff. And through him, I actually met a great number of the internet marketers in Los Angeles who I'm still friends with to this day. And some of them have left Los Angeles, but one of the marketers is Ronnie Sandlin. Ronnie Sandlin is a very good friend of mine. And Danilo we all met at, getting margaritas one day in downtown Santa Monica, and Ronnie and I have been very good friends since then, and we've opened up Danilo's just opened up lots of opportunities for me, and he really paved the way for me not just to, see the success in the space, but see the generosity. He was such a generous guy, and as I said, people liked him. That's why I met so many people through him, because people genuinely liked him, and he just lit up the room in his energy, and he was somebody who was like a mentor and has inspired me. Now, fast forward to a week ago, Danilo took his own life. And I won't go into the details of how he took his own life or where or what the issues were, because that's not everybody here's business. But he took his life, and he was depressed and stressed. And it really all stems from depression. And his funeral was attended by people all over. It was amazing. It was kind of crazy. The number of marketers that were there, it was ridiculous. And I even remember, I think this was like really uncouth, but like one of his like eulogies, one of the guys that gave a eulogy for him, he says, okay, Danilo, his work ethic was outstanding. I remember the all-nighters he'd put in the office, and he said he was a true hustler. And he said, just a side note, every time I wrote down hustle on my, piece of paper I'm reading from, I spelled it with a money sign. And I was like, come on. But like, that was like a marketer's funeral. It was kind of ridiculous. Danilo would have laughed. Danilo would have thought it was funny, but all of his Korean family, I don't think they got it. But the point being, he was a person that brought people together. He was a person that was really open with his knowledge, really helpful. He took chances on people with ambition. He had a good eye for finding people that would do work, just like me or Ronnie and what have you. So it was really kind of impactful because we're part of the same like tribe of Los Angeles marketers. And it impacted me a lot when he died. But in this, I'm gonna actually go over some of the signs of depression, and I just wanna educate everyone. Now, one of the biggest, something to be aware of here is the main characteristic that is really kind of scary across people in the business opportunity space who are seeking to become entrepreneurs, who are trying to make money online, is depression. Not joking. I have done surveys of people who buy business opportunity programs or are trying to be entrepreneurs, whether it's real estate or stock investing or what have you, but especially the internet. Anybody trying to make money from the internet, start an e-commerce, an agency business, whatever it is, one of the major characteristics is depression. Many people trying to become internet entrepreneurs are depressed. Why? Right? And the reason is because first off, being an entrepreneur by its nature is a very solitary journey. You don't have support groups. Your friends are, working jobs, or they're broke, living at their parents. People don't understand you. You're taking risks that society doesn't approve of. The news tells you to work a job. Your parents tell you to work a job. Your friends and family, generally tell you to work a job. Everybody's telling you to work a job. Everything, education system tells you that. So you're going against the norms and you don't have that support group. Second off is you're working on the internet. So even if you have friends, or even if, let's say I'm one of those guys in your network and you're part of my money club, right? I'm not there. The physical presence of me is not there. You might be chatting with me on a live stream, but I'm not there. I'm not there to say, hey man, you haven't left your bedroom in a week. I'm not there. You don't have somebody over your shoulder to say, hey man, you look like shit. You gained 30 pounds since I last met you. What's going on? Is there something wrong? And all of these things that you would get from a normal friend who is in person, who sees you regularly. And the internet has changed a lot of this, and depression is surprisingly happening a lot. Now, depression, I'm going to go over a couple signs here. And the first sign I'm going to go over is overall feelings of hopelessness, okay? Prolonged feelings of hopelessness. If every day you feel hopeless, if you go outside and you just think, wow, none of this is for me, if little things set you off, if just everything is kind of tinged with a very negative, helpless or hopeless kind of thing, then you're probably depressed. Just the fact that you're actually a member of my audience makes you at higher risk for depression. It's kind of sad, but it's true. It's internet business. Now, the next thing is loss of interest in everyday activities. So if you just suddenly lose interest in, could be eating food, it could be having sex, it could be doing normal things, going to see friends. If you just have loss of interest in normal everyday activities, no, I don't want to see the concert. No, I don't want to go to the movies with you. No, I don't want to go to the music festival. You might be depressed. The third thing is appetite changes, okay? So if you have sudden changes in appetite, you just don't feel like eating, or you're way overeating and you're just like, wow, I just went through another pint of ice cream and Cheetos and all that stuff, that can be a sign of depression. You could just have lost interest in eating, or you could just be fulfilling your need for whatever with eating a lot of food. The next thing is sleep changes. And something to be aware of is this may not be happening to you, but this could be happening to your friends, right? So if you see these characteristics in your friends, it might be worth a little heart to heart. You just say, hey, how's everything going? No, how are you feeling about life or whatever, right? So, or just go deeper, go at the level deeper. Are you like feeling good? I've noticed some changes in you, man. You're never sleeping anymore. You're sleeping 12 hours a day. You're never going out. You've gained 30 pounds. Stuff like that. You know, it might be worth a heart to heart with a friend. And the last thing is constant anger or irritability, okay? Now, these are all signs of depression, and I'm just gonna end this video with a note that, you know, Danilo meant a lot to me, and it's really sad seeing this happen. It's question a lot of things. You know, it just made me like, you know, really think a lot, and it's really sad to see, you know, this is the first friend of mine that's been close to me who's died before their time. So it's been really sad. You know, I wish I reached out earlier. I wish I had these talks. And what I encourage you to do is, if you see this happening in somebody else, or if you see this happening in yourself, you know, talk to somebody. You know, talk to somebody about it. You shed light on something and the problem, you know, let somebody know. I think I might be depressed, and I just like to talk with you about it. I'm not sure if, you know, what you've been seeing, but what are your thoughts, you know, and just talk to somebody about it. Shed light on it. But if you know somebody who's depressed, talk to them, offer to talk to them. And, you know, if you're committed to doing that, and if you were moved by this video, which is very different than my other videos, right? If you follow my channel, just type in, I remember Danilo, because I hope his story helps somebody else, because what happened to him and what took him to the point where he felt so hopeless about the future that he even took his own life, when in reality, it didn't make sense to me, right? I heard that and it just didn't make sense. I was like, this is a guy, he's doing well and all these other things in life. He has so much stuff. He had a beautiful wife, right? He had a beautiful wife. They've been married for years. He had a lot of good friends, and he took his life. I didn't see why. I didn't understand it, but he did. And he was depressed. And hopefully we can change the world by helping somebody else in need, so they don't feel like they have to get to that point. So I remember Danilo. If you're willing to have a conversation with somebody, or just if this video moved you, and not all my videos are going to be like this, hopefully, right? And I'll see you in the next video. Like this video if this helped out in some way. We'll be back to the regular programming tomorrow.